Not yet. Okay. She says there's this thing that Joe does. He looks at her.
They lock eyes.
Geez, you got to put up more of a fight than that. I mean, that's lots of people look at people. I mean, it's one of the major ways we look at people. You know what I mean?
You know, I miss being young and dumb.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
It's a simpler time.
You can just fucking walk into a wall and beanbag right off of it, go take a shot, throw up, and have sex with somebody.
Or say stupid things like, when we lock eyes, I completely forget that he treats me like shit.
Right. Hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of another Below Deck podcast. I'm Dylan. That's Pat.
Permission to come aboard.
Granted, what is going on with you on this lovely Friday afternoon?
Well, I'm drinking a little early, Dylan.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a stressful week, work and whatnot.
Poor baby.
Yeah, so I'm going to drink. You know, I've been so good for about 5 months.
Yeah,
it's time to fall off the wagon.
Yeah.
Get drunk.
Well, let's get some bumps, some bruises, and suck down a couple high noons, eh?
Yeah, that's right. Now, I want to update the audience. I have reached out to the previous charter guests to get their side of the story.
Okay.
They have yet to respond to me, but I have...
Well, it's, I think... who cares at this point?
I guess so.
Yeah.
You know, old news is no news, right?
Is that?
I don't know.
So, you know, maybe we'll talk to that person. Maybe we won't. But what we will do is put this episode without any ads at patreon.com/anotherpodcastnetwork. We will also cover The Bachelorette there, which the last episode of The Bachelorette was so funny. Mm-hmm. I mean, me, you, and Rubes all in the stew just talking about a 20-minute Wicked, the feature film integration in this dating show, which was crazy.
And don't forget that idiot that got tossed because he couldn't form a sentence. I believe his name is Sam.
Yeah.
By the way, Molly and Jason, they were the Bachelor Nation couple that was on that radio show, part of that bit.
Yeah.
They said it was even worse in person. And I can't believe how that's possible.
Yeah, so go to patreon.com/anotherpodcastnetwork. Lots of really good content, ad-free content. All of it is there. We have an episode of Below Deck to get into. I don't know why. There's plenty to talk about. I don't have a lot of notes on this episode.
Me neither. Dylan, I'm sorry, because we don't have a lot of notes. We need to waste some time.
Yeah.
I want to do a tease for another podcast show behind the wall at patreon.com/anotherpodcastnetwork. Forgive me for the plug, the second plug.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop some interesting stories. Matthew Perry was, he died about like 8 months ago.
Yeah.
I had predicted he was going to die 2 years ago, and then he died. So Patty has a crystal ball with dead people.
And again, you know, you say you have a crystal ball with dead people, but that's a little bit like, you know, so what if I say,
someone old, you're going to say?
No, but that makes sense. Who's the guy that shakes from Back to the Future?
Shakes from Back to the Future.
Michael J. Fox.
Oh, yeah.
So if I was
You're going to predict he's going to die.
Yeah, if I predict, I mean, it's essentially the same thing as predicting that Matthew Perry is going to die.
I mean,
right?
it's literally a coin toss.
I mean, yeah. So forgive me, Nostradamus.
So
forgive me.
In the news today, and we'll get to Below Deck in a second, Matthew Perry.
And I should say Michael J. Fox is a brave, courageous man who has brought a lot of light and education to a horrible disease. And I'm sorry that I said that he shakes in Back to the Future. That was...
Well, you also said he'd be dead soon.
Well, I mean... I think the first thing was the worst.
Right. Well, I looked up to him as a kid. In 1984, when he was on Family Ties, I'm like, I want to be like Alex P. Keaton.
Yeah,
I dressed like him for the first day of school in the 6th grade.
Hey, we all wanted to. He
was so funny and cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Matthew Perry, he died of a ketamine overdose about 8 months ago.
You got to do a lot of ketamine.
A lot of ketamine. He was a drug addict.
Yeah.
So 5 people were arrested today, including 2 doctors, a personal assistant, and someone named the Ketamine Queen. Boy,
right.
Yeah, watch out with what you call yourself. The cops will be coming looking for you.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And her friends all said, I think that this is a little too high profile. I think that you should kind of lay low.
Call yourself the K Queen. And she's like, well...
I wanted to be louder. They're like, well, you shouldn't because, you know.
The cops will come looking for you.
Well,
my wife, 2 years ago, worked for a high-profile client, not on the same level with Matthew Perry, but kind of around there. And this particular female client said, hey, go pick up my prescription. My wife looked at it, and it was under a fake name.
Yeah.
And my wife said, I don't feel comfortable doing this. And she said, no problem. 2 weeks later, she was let go.
Well, we'll break that story down at
That's right.
Patreon.
I'm going to break that. That's the tease.
But she could have been an accessory to murder.
she'd be, if that woman died, my wife could be up for manslaughter.
Yeah.
So it was a good call.
Which, great Norm Macdonald bit, that sounds way worse than murder.
Right.
But it's not.
And we're going to get to Below Deck in a second. My
Yeah.
second story that I'm going to share on APS, which you guys need to pay $5 for,
Right.
is today in the news, busy news day. I'm looking at the news as I normally do, and a news story headline says, the son of Creedence Clearwater Revival, the band, the drummer, the son of the band Creedence Clearwater Revival,
Okay.
is wanted for murder because
Oh, wow.
he killed his girlfriend.
Okay.
And he may be wanted for a second murder.
Oh, wow.
And as I'm staring at the picture, I said, I know Brent.
Oh, wow.
I played in a band with Brent 30 years ago in
way.
college.
Did he have dead eyes?
No, he didn't. He was like a hippy dippy. He was one of those, like, he lived in a house that his dad paid for, that he was
Yeah.
never around, and we'd always practice in his living room.
Right.
And he killed his wife or girlfriend.
Well, sometimes you have a hard life and you just get pissed off and, you kind of fly off the handle a little bit and start killing multiple people.
That's right. Well, anyway, that's going to be on another podcast show, and that's why you need to subscribe, because we
Yeah.
tell and break down amazing stories on that show.
Yeah, and then I think I'll talk about, parking etiquette.
There you go.
Something
Well-rounded
like that.
show.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm ready to get started.
So let's get into it. I would give this episode, it's a middling 67 pot. What am I saying? There was a lot of fun stuff. I'm going to give it 69 pots because it was a sexy episode. Joe has revealed himself to be
a tool bag.
a bit of a tool bag. It always breaks my heart to see very loud signals. I am a fucking douchebag, and women still. What is that? It's nuts to me.
It's young, stupid love.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
all guilty of it.
A lot of leaking, a lot of rain, a lot of heartbreak, a lot to gain. It's 69 pots.
Yeah, this episode was kind of like all over the place. It didn't have a beginning. It didn't have an end. It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jono is growing on me. I'm starting to like him a lot.
MVP of the season.
Yeah. And I thought it was a decent episode. Although, another piece of Below Deck news, or a piece of Below Deck news. Chef Dave is engaged now. And I'm so happy that he could actually show up to something that he agreed and planned to show up to. That's
Yeah.
good of Chef Dave. Now, Chef Dave is going to make an appearance later in this season. And I hope it's just as a guest chef to cook Sandy and her lovely fiance's meal for their celebration.
Okay.
And not that Jono gets axed and Chef Dave replaces him.
I'm putting this out there right now. I don't care if he's on.
How many times have Chef Dave been booked to be on this podcast and he doesn't show up?
Probably 2 or 3.
3.
Yeah. If Dave is on that, I don't want to talk to Dave.
I'm not going to talk to Dave again. Dave, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you.
Fool me 3
times, shame on me.
Well, no.
George Bush. You fooled me twice, you shame on you.
Oh, that's your Bush.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good. How many pots do you give the episode?
14.
Is this a rough start? I feel like we plugged the Patreon for 15
No,
minutes.
they enjoyed it because I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I have 2 pages of notes.
Okay.
I normally have 6.
Well, last we left off, we had to have a sit down with Sir. Ellie calls him Sir. Joe.
That's right.
Ellie, don't call him Sir. Call him Groucho. Don't call him Sir. Mm-hmm. He tells her that the date is not going to work for him. He feels like it's too much pressure. And Ellie is confused because he liked her enough to make out with her the night before, but not enough to sit down and have a conversation with her. Yeah.
I want to spend some time on this. Okay, so this is a very uncomfortable interaction between the Balkan Biscuit and Joe.
Yep.
In which he rescinds his participation in the date that he's already accepted, right?
Right.
Okay, you can't do this to a girl. No. Girls are not used to this. This isn't in their DNA. Men, we're used to rejection. We are used to being embarrassed.
Yeah, are you saying that men play more of a volume game than women do?
Oh, yeah, law of averages.
Sure.
You just ask out a bunch of people and you hope one of them says yes. I mean, you rarely will go 0%.
Right.
But for the Balkan Biscuit, I actually felt for her here, and it was especially painful to watch her kind of suppress what she was really thinking. So when she said, I don't want anything serious either, her inner voice was saying, I can't believe you're rejecting me on national TV, you motherfucker.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's her in her head.
Yeah, and then he said, well, I just kind of want to have fun in life. She said, sure, let's just have fun. No pressure tonight. Her inner voice, her monster voice said, if I had a fucking gun, I'd blow your fucking head off. You're doing this to me on national TV, you motherfucker.
It's so crazy that she's like a cracked out guinea. internally.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. She's a part of the mafia.
That's very, very interesting. Yeah, no, a couple things about this. Like, well, I think that we can understand coming from a man's perspective, like, oh no, I don't want to lead anybody astray. I really have no interest in this whatsoever. What happened is you were too big of a coward to say no when she initially asked you. Maybe it came from a good place. You didn't want to reject her on camera on the teak. But now that you've said yes, what is 45 minutes out of your day? You can lay out all the things that you need to lay out at that dinner table. Mm-hmm. You know, you can say, I'm only interested in having sex with you after I've had 4 to 6 cocktails. And you'll still sound like a dick, but, you know, at least it'll all be kind of there out in the open.
Yes, I agree with that. I will say the young people, when they're in their 20s, they hold Fridays and Saturdays and free nights very precious. Almost as like the, you know, the
sure.
hour
I'm never going to get another one of these.
Yeah. So, but I will say with you, Dylan, I'm with you. Just go out for the 45 minutes. Don't do this to girls. They really internalize it. I one time turned down a blowjob. You would have thought I killed this girl's family. She was so hurt.
Oh my God, you can't turn down a blowjob.
I said I'm good, and she was deeply hurt and offended.
Oh, I completely understand. I mean, that is a real olive branch. Seriously. And call it a job for nothing, you know, and you turned that down. I mean, it's very hurtful.
Yeah. Well, by the way, when he parts, he says, hey, you don't hate me. I hate when people that just did something really hurtful to you try and get back some kind of...
You're not mad, are you?
No, I'm not mad. I'm just going to cast a curse on you and your family for the next 100 years. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. May you burn in hell.
Well, the way that Joe behaves is a betrayal to the masculine. You know, this is not something that is... This is just not good behavior. Mm-hmm. Okay? So... we get to, and Gail is losing respect for him now. Look out.
Oh, yes, Gail. Yes. You think he's a dick, and you explain this by saying that this guy, I mean, he just wants what he wants, and he doesn't care about another person's feelings. It's kind of like them. Gail, I love you, but does that sound familiar to you?
It doesn't sound familiar to me. Cheese is doing recon. She's a paranoid one, huh? Mm-hmm. She's always got her ear in the soup can.
She's a little nutty, this one.
A little bit.
I asked to get her on as a guest. She's already working on another boat.
Oh, good for her. So tonight,
She's fucking up someone else's laundry.
Yeah. Tonight is, we're going out, so Nathan is going to dress to impress. And that means dressing like your favorite, Dwayne the Wayne Johnson.
Dwayne the Wayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know kind of what transpired wherein he thought that looking pretty much exactly like Dwayne the Wayne Johnson was a good thing to do. Mm-hmm. But he changes.
You know, it reminded me when they brought up The Rock. It's like, boy, I really wanted that season 3, you know, of Young Rock.
Oh, thanks for clarifying, because I didn't know, you know, the Young Rock.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, he actually explains that outfit in one of the episodes. That's how deep they went into his fascinating life history.
Young Rock had 2 seasons.
That's right.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Nobody watched it.
Well, the first season they did, got him a second season.
Okay.
Yeah, he's really not that interesting of a person.
Yeah. And Terramana's pissed.
Yeah, it is piss.
Yeah.
I think his career is going down the tubes, and I helped do that.
You did.
I started the revolution. Like I was screaming from the rafters 3 years ago. Hey, The Rock sucks. People were like, "What are you talking about? He's awesome."
Oh yeah, dude, you're like the Hannibal to his Rome. I mean, just a constant adversarial pressure, and people looked at the Roman Empire, aka The Rock, and they said, "How could somebody like Pat take him down?" But
I did.
You did.
Thank
Bravo,
you.
sir. So let's hit the vans. Cheese hears the story of the refusal and is just repulsed and disappointed in Joe. Cut to a toilet 20 to 25 minutes later, and she'll be telling him to stop being a fucking pussy and bend her over.
Yeah. Throw it in me, baby.
Throw it in me, baby. So I was as I wrote this, I was like, I'm interested to see if this deters anything in the future. It does not. We get to dinner and we get some real C-Rat sad scale stuff, I think. Maybe not real C-Rat sad scale, but I think we might be charting with this story from Joe.
Well, let me break down the C-Rat history from Joe. Okay. And this is why he doesn't want to be in a serious relationship. His last serious relationship was in 2017, and it didn't work out because all his date nights were in his car, because that's where he lived. This burger's delicious. Do you mind passing the ketchup? Sure, it's in the glove box.
Yeah,
That's not going to work out long term.
Yeah. So he was.
Can I just say this about dating someone while you live in a car?
Yeah.
The car sex is bad too. You get a good roll going second and third base, but you go for fourth base. You got your fucking foot stuck in a drink holder.
Wait.
Or worse, your shirt catches fire in one of those cigarette lighters. You know?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're both fucking dead.
Yeah. That's a real Final Destination way to go.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a lot of dominoes have to fall in the right way for that to happen. How did he pass away? He was banging. And his T-shirt got stuck in between the clamp of the it's like, wow,
cigarette lighter. Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. Where does this chart though on the C-Rat SAT scale? A man living in his car, hating himself, getting fat, having to break up with somebody because he hates himself so much.
Normally, you get a 0.5 just because you're living in your car,
Right.
but the very fact that he was able to still get laid, that then brings it back down to a 0.
So you're saying
He wasn't destitute.
You're saying essentially. Oh, you know what happened?
What happened?
You know what's happening?
What's happened?
Oh.
Yeah. He's a big baby.
Oh, that's what happened.
He's a big baby.
Yeah, yeah. Hang on.
Shut up.
Why is this? It's so weird. Okay. If you listen to us at Patreon, you know that there's a ghost in here.
That's right.
We know that there's a ghost in here now. That whole audio thing, I can't chalk it up to really anything other than the poltergeist that exists in the studio.
Oh, that was Hillary. She lives here.
Hillary.
Yeah.
She's a witch?
She normally hangs out in the arcade game Golden Tee.
Right.
I don't know. She likes golf or something, maybe.
Yeah.
That's what her husband liked to do before she killed him. So she lives in there. Yeah. So
I want to apologize to everybody for that.
Another reason to go to Patreon, we will be covering that the studio is haunted by a ghost named Hillary, who lives in the Golden Tee arcade game.
Yeah, and she killed her husband, and I'm excited to hear how she died, but we don't have time for that right now. We have to get to Aisha, who would be bestowing upon Scott her last name, making his name Scott. You know, no judgment. People do whatever they want to do, but like... that's crazy.
I know Kermit's going to be mad at me for saying this. I think she listens. I don't see them two getting married.
Oh, I do. 100%.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. And then there'll be those people that are like, this is my husband, Scott. He took my last name. And you're at a dinner party like, you people are nuts. But lovely, you know, but they're just kind of the kooky kind.
That's right.
They're the kind of people that can get in a van and drive around for months on end, shitting in buckets and eating tuna fish. It's crazy. So, Joe and Ellie have a good chat.
We're at the dinner.
Yeah, we're at the dinner. And Ellie says, you know, upon him realizing that this is what their date could have been, she says, how...
Could he chase away good pussy?
Yeah, how can you chase away good pussy? Which is like, okay. I mean... Okay. Wow. That's like, you know, like, okay, Lil' Kim. You know what I mean? So Ellie goes full Al Pacino insomnia and drags Jono into the bathroom. This guy is so lovely. He's
grown on me. I took episode 12 to go, you know what? I like you. Maybe we got off on the wrong foot.
Everyone can go to him and be better for it. Aisha, their morning hellos are just so warming. Gail can go to him with outfit stuff. Ellie can come complain about paranoid relationship. He's just steady as a fucking rock.
That's right.
Or a cucumber. So we go dancing. Cheese says that...
is this with the Balkan Biscuit, Ellie?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Cheese says there's this thing that Joe does. He looks at her.
They lock eyes.
Geez, you got to put up more of a fight than that. I mean, that's lots of people look at people. I mean, it's one of the major ways we look at people. You know what I mean?
You know, I miss being young and dumb.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
was a simpler time.
You can just fucking walk into a wall and beanbag right off of it, go take a shot, throw up, and have sex with someone.
Or say stupid things like, when we lock eyes, I completely forget that he treats me like shit.
Right.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
Miss that.
So Gail and Nathan are going to go on a date. She's very emotional about her relationship with Nathan, and we love Gail. I kind of turned a corner with the two of them. We were quite cynical about their love, and still are very.
Oh, you have to be. They're sea rats.
But I don't know. I kind of ship them.
Well, I do too, but don't. Because a relationship built on a foundation of, dare I say, they were smooching a little bit before she ended that relationship. It's not a good way to start.
Infidelity is never a good thing to break ground on, right? And then build. But sea rat infidelity is, I mean, it's essentially like building a mansion on a marsh.
It's like building a relationship on Jell-O. It isn't a foundation at all.
Yeah, you'll sink into the Jell-O.
Right.
All right, let's get to the next thing that happens, and then after that, we'll talk about an amazing company called Body Smart Fitness. The two leads have a seat. Ian is very Michael Scott in this moment, sitting with Aisha. He's in a Hawaiian shirt. He's bouncing up and down, and he is completely oblivious to the fact that the interior of this vessel is inoperable.
I appreciated Kermit's candor, because the most would say, "Oh, my department's great," because they're not competing departments, but certainly. You don't want to admit that your department is
This
a
is
mess.
where I don't think that the Robert Greene has helped you. I mean, it's helped you in certain ways, but there is literally no competition between the two of them in any way, shape, or form. I don't think so.
Well, perhaps just the concept of that being that they are heads of departments, you want to see that they're both running a tight ship.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Ian could say, look at my guys, they're fine. Look at her guys, they suck.
But I think she helped him by saying, "Oh no, my department's a complete mess too."
Complete mess.
It helped him. It's a good Kermit.
And we'll get to it later in the show, but we continue to do this thing where how Cheese has a job. It's getting to the point where I'm like,
they're messing with us.
You're fucking with me, right? How is this person still hired on this vessel?
I like how they framed it like a few episodes ago, that she is so on the low end of the rung that she's unfireable. No.
Yeah.
There has to be a fireable offense.
Yeah. At some point. Or, a cumulative offense that, results in one big one. We measure it as one big offense with all these little kind of bites at the apple. But yeah, Aisha tells Ian that, no, I very much want to maim and fire my crew very badly. I feel horrible for Aisha because she's been just crushing it lately. Okay, well, a little bit more. Bree and Ellie have a chat wherein Cheese apologizes for the whole Joe thing. She apologizes for the entire season, really, and Ellie says that she approached her aggressively to try to break through the defensive shield, which is not really an apology, but quite cathartic. Cheese then says, she almost warns Ellie about who Joe is and calls him a flea.
Well, Dylan, they bond over being able to bury the hatchet in multiple past arguments, but also they bond over having a common enemy.
Yeah.
Temporarily.
Right.
Until one of them will be being finger banged over a toilet roll in about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
But at this very moment,
right,
they are bonded.
Today's episode is brought to you by Body Smart one-on-one coaching.
Great.
Pat, tell me what you love about this company.
What I love about it is it makes sense. It's a common sense approach to weight loss, Dylan. All these people trying to get these fast fads. If I eat 1,800 cookies a day, I'll lose 2 pounds. That's not going to work. If I starve myself, no. How you do it is you kind of change your mindset, and that's exactly how this company works.
This company helps busy women aged 30 plus who are overwhelmed and fed up with struggling to get healthy to lose 15 to 60 pounds in under 6 months. guaranteed. Reduce the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. Develop lifelong healthy habits and skills so getting healthy is easy. Rebuild confidence and self-esteem. And find your inner fire again, okay? Just nobody needs to go on crazy diets. Nobody needs to go on crazy exercise regimens. You just need consistency. That's the hardest part about it. And Body Smart Fitness helps you with that, the most integral part of getting healthy. Body Smart Coaching promises to be the last weight program you'll ever need as you're guided by your dedicated one-on-one coach to make healthy changes that last. Lose 30 to 60 pounds in under 6 months with no pills or gimmicks, just science-based habits and skills that will leave you feeling in control, energized, and in the best shape of your life. Visit Body Smart Fitness and mention this in your application to get 20% off your coaching program. That's bodysmartfitness.com. Okay, let's get into the
alliance that is very short-lived.
Yes.
Because Cheese goes to drop a deuce and Joe follows her in the bathroom.
Yes.
And he gives her those eyes again.
Yeah. The man she referred to as a flea finds her in a toilet 5 minutes after rebranding him as a kind of annoying insect. But those eyes, as you mentioned, Pat, he's essentially like Medusa,
Yeah, it's not a snake coming out of his head. It's those fucking eyes.
Yeah, it's those eyebrows. And when you look at them, they kind of animate and they start to slither like slugs and you start sopping. I mean, it's crazy the power that this guy has. They hop into the toilet and I'm not really sure what transpired.
I believe fluids were exchanged.
Fluids?
I think so.
Oh, I don't think so.
He washed his hands.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I think what happened was okay, so okay, should we do it? Should we do this?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what you're going to do. I will
Okay.
say it seemed odd because it seemed kind of, as gross as it is, I don't want to have sex in a bathroom personally, but it seemed like it was getting hot and heavy in there. And then suddenly it completely changed.
Yeah, I think so. Joe realized that maybe he wasn't as full of blood as he wanted to be. And maybe he looked around at this dark room that smelled like shit with her leg hiked up on a toilet, almost falling into the bowl, and the blood drained even further. And he was like, you know what? This is a bad idea. And then she really went full Eileen Wuornos on him and was like, be a fucking man.
That's right.
Or I will be. Bree was pissed.
Yeah, she was.
Bree wanted to get torn away in that bathroom.
Yeah, women are more selective than men. It's a special occasion when they decide to give it up. Not like us. We'll just throw it into anything.
Well, no. So, yeah, that's what happened. We get a little transparency with Bree. I think when we get back in the vans, I think we've all had this person in our lives, someone that kind of cranks up the impulsiveness in you, and you become what Bree describes as not a good human. And that's the state that she's in right now. We head back to the boat for some nudes. I was almost sure he was going to go boomerang right to Ellie.
Yeah.
Because would not put that past him in a second. But alas, we just end the night with a text from Cheese. We should talk in the morning.
No one ever texts and says, let's chat in the morning. And it's going to be something good.
Yeah.
No one ever says, hey, let's chat. And then you chat with them. They go, hey, I wanted to give you $10,000.
Right.
It always ends up with you sitting in a chair saying, you do have AIDS.
Oh, always. It always ends up with you sitting in a chair saying, you do have AIDS.
You do have AIDS. Damn it.
I mean, you know what? I think we have been incredible today. I mean, such a good podcast. Dude, I don't know what it was this morning. Like, I just, all day I've been in such a fog.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been in a crappy mood today, too.
Yeah.
I feel good now, though.
Me too. So we wake for the next morning. There are storms on the horizon. I actually love Nathan's little date idea, rock climbing. That's fun.
Well, he frames it as he wants to do something that is fun, dangerous, and adventurous. And I was thinking, why don't you go find out where Gail's boyfriend works? Drive over next to the boat, go, hey,
Right,
Jim!
right. Yeah.
And then start making out with her. Because that you could get the same experience out of that.
Yeah, no, I think he was looking for something a little safer, but he definitely was like, what's something that's gonna like bring us closer together, and like what's an activity where I can like just kind of like stare at her butt for most of the afternoon. And he finds that in rock climbing. But all joking aside, it's a very cute date. I'm excited to get there. Okay, so Cheese heads into the laundry room, chatting on the phone with a friend.
Yeah. Oh, this is all right. So you thought Sandy laid the hammer down on those charter guests last episode. Boy, put down the phone. Basically orders her to. And by the way, Cheese deserves it. I just think she should be fired.
Cheese walks in to a laundry room in complete disrepair, talking on speaker to a friend. Now, while Sandy is ironing her own
clothes,
very hideous orange garment, but the fact that this is where I'm looking at this and I'm wondering, are you fucking with me? Because she feels so comfortable in her mediocrity that she's just, I mean, I don't blame her. She's been doing this the entire season, and there's really been nothing punitive sent her way whatsoever.
I think if we ever get a reunion out of these people, which we never do anymore, they'd say all she was really bad at was laundry. She kind of got her shit together with doing the cabins and good with service. This was the one thing that people were focusing on, is how horrible she is here.
Well, we have a conversation with her for the 111th time.
I was going to say.
Nathan heads up to ask Sandy if he can take Gail off the boat. And this is honestly when I was thinking, is he kind of like, is he cute?
Nate?
Not like aesthetically. I'm just like, is he a little cutie pie? I mean, he said he was getting nervous about it. I'm like, is he cutie?
He's a cutie pie deal, but let me remind you about 5 episodes ago when, I don't know, a producer asked him, how do you feel about her having a boyfriend? And he basically said, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he said, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, so maybe he's not cutie pie. Maybe he's just a fucking C-rat.
Also, Nathan, maybe you listen, maybe you don't, maybe some of his family does. You should go see a hair specialist. You are going bald. I'm sorry, you are. He is. I don't want him to lose his hair before he, because a lot of guys, they're good.
You have to be proactive about that.
You've got to be proactive.
Right. All right. So high key fiasco. Jono doesn't want Bree to get fired, and he's doing his best to be like, figure it the fuck out.
Get it together.
Can't be completely incompetent. Sandy calls Aisha up to the bridge. She wants to know. She wants to show Aisha where she's going to propose to her fiance, and it's very adorable. But I'm thinking, are we going to talk about cheese and laundry for the 111th time? Because this is insane what just took place.
Well, they get to that.
Bree is in the movie Clueless right now. She's Alicia Silverstone walking around this boat, just lighting shit on fire and going shopping, and they're just like, what are we going to do? Maybe fire her. I don't know. I mean, listen, she's fun. I don't want her to get fired for the show, but it's just crazy that the boat didn't fire her. Anyways, dead horse. She speaks to Aisha about this and says, I want you to find out a way to get her through the season, because you are standing for all of your meals. This is where, again, I like Bree on the show. I think Bree's great. But as this is an actual work environment, how are you looking at Aisha not sleeping, not eating, working way too hard, having to do 50 different things that she's not supposed to be doing, already understaffed, and not solve the problem? It's nuts to me.
Well, maybe they take a page from my book. I never liked firing somebody. I always felt bad for them, even when they fucking deserved it.
Yeah.
So that could be a little bit of karma.
Well, you're a little sweetie pie.
I'm a sweetie pie.
Yeah. So
hey, don't we have a new stew coming on? Wasn't that teased last week?
Yeah.
Some pretty cute blonde named Carrie, I think her name is.
she's
they got to fire someone then.
She's Irish or fucking from Liverpool or something.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Why do you say it with so much disdain?
No, I'm not in love with that accent.
Oh, okay.
It's tough. I love this new season of Love is Blind UK. It's really good. You should enjoy it now that you don't have to take notes on it or recap it. It's so much more.
I know people want us to cover it so badly, but guys, Love is Blind is a gauntlet of work.
Time.
It's just, we can't do it.
No.
All right. So Gail is heading out for the day. I love Jonna, the resident gay. Vital men in women's lives. They are not attracted to them. Mm-mm. There's complete security, and they can tell them, honestly, that jacket is not going to work. You need that.
You do.
Because it's hard for men who are in relationships with women to be as blunt as is sometimes necessary.
Yeah. Women almost enjoy being critiqued by gay guys. Yeah. Oh my God, I look like shit?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They love it. Can you imagine a husband telling her that?
Yeah.
I don't know if that eyeliner's working on you tonight. She's like, well, I fucking hate you.
Maybe not that, but I had a gay moment the other day. And it one gay moment, one slip up, and now, the families are laughing about it, and it's turned into this whole thing. But my wife walked downstairs, and I don't know what came over me, but I said, "Oh my God, why is your hair so flat?" and yeah, that was my gay moment. But her hair was flat. Okay,
there you go.
She has voluminous hair, but something was going on that day, and I apologize. So, the
preference sheet meeting.
Well, we mentioned that. Jono's the MVP of the season.
Well, I wouldn't say he's the MVP.
Oh,
He's been doing an okay job lately.
I would say he's the MVP of the season. I'm so sorry. I'm skipping so far ahead of my notes.
No, we're at the preference sheet meeting.
Yeah, preference sheet meeting. Okay.
Preference sheet
meeting.
These are getting shorter and shorter. I remember these affairs used to at least take up 2 minutes of an episode.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
No.
It's 28 seconds.
Yeah.
That's it. They just give who the primary are and what they do and what they want.
Well, the primary is going to be Pamela Duke, a nautical-themed jewelry line. She is the owner of. These vacations are getting way cheaper. How do you make that much money with a nautical-themed jewelry line? That sounds like a neighborhood gals event in like a Florida retirement community.
Yeah, that seems like a fun website that you and your husband put together.
Yeah.
And you show up to flea markets to hawk this bullshit.
Yeah.
But not a flourishing business that pays for a yacht trip. You're not John Legend.
Very confusing. So they're going to be stuck at the dock, obviously, because that happens probably 1 out of every 4 charters. So rock climbing, very cute. Gail, very hot. I don't know. I kind of love the two of them.
Yeah, it was fun seeing the 6 and 9-year-old scale those walls, making him look like a complete wimp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, heights are scary. I was at a summer camp when I was a boy, and there was a child who had stated that he was too scared to rock climb. And, all the kids and the counselors were kind of engaging in this, like, you need to push past your fears kind of mindset. And they were wrong to do so, because that child got to the top and he was so scared that he could not belay down. But he was scared enough to begin shitting.
Oh, that's right.
Shit flew down from the height of the wall and splattered onto the ground. And he was ridiculed for the rest of the summer. And I don't know what happened to him, but.
Well, I bet when he was probably like 24, he's like, wow, enough time's passed. I bet everyone that was there on that fateful day has forgotten that horrible memory.
No.
But not you.
No.
We never forget something like that. I also have a climbing story. 8th grade, Dale Diamantopoulos, who was also our high school football coach, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Hope you're dead.
And you don't say that about a lot of people.
No, I don't. And Dale, who's the gym coach, the 40-year-old gym coach, and I'm 14 or however old 8th grader is, I'm holding a rope. It's called top roping. When people climb, you have to have someone holding it. I'm holding it, but the guy is so fat, this kid Philip, it kind of lets go out of my hand, and I kind of I hold on. He doesn't like fall to break his neck or anything, but he definitely falls.
Yeah.
Dale Diamantopoulos comes over, puts his finger in my face, and says, "You're an idiot. What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "You're an idiot. Yeah. You're an idiot. You're the 40-year-old here. You're an idiot." Right. God, I hope he's dead. I hate that guy.
I'm sorry. He really impacted your life.
He's the guy who grabbed my football helmet and swung me around in front of 80 other adults that didn't file charges against him. He would be spending a night in jail for what he did to me. Now. Yeah.
All right. Do you want to find him and kill him?
I think I prank phone called him when I was 23.
Well, dude, listen, I think better than, going out to wherever he lives and murdering him. I think, the two of us maybe want to do a little doxing, find his telephone number, and just kind of jerky boys him.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. We'll do the "you took my dog" bit, but without the Indian accent.
I like that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Joe and Cheese have a chat. I guess you can call that a chat. This was very vague boundary setting.
Very vague because she doesn't want any boundaries. She said, please don't text me, don't contact me, leave me alone. And then when we get her alone, she's a little cheeky and is like, well, I wouldn't be bummed if he breaks those rules.
Right.
Okay, those are not boundaries.
Those are not boundaries, so nothing was accomplished at all. You didn't need to send a text, let's talk in the morning, because you guys were going to talk about nothing. And she says that she wants to stop and that she needs him to help her stop. Well, Cheese, let me give you a little piece of advice. Depending on him to help you stop is a little bit like depending on 8th grade Pat to belay down a fat kid. It's just not going to happen.
Not going to happen. Somebody's
going to shit their pants or break their neck or get banged in a toilet. I mean, I don't know, but we'll see what happens. Aisha teaches Ellie how to do laundry on the 6th charter, and Joe says that he doesn't care about what he did to Ellie. He is not interested. Very cool, dude. Very cool.
No regrets, bro.
No regrets. Had a blast. Just a fucking cool guy, I think. So Nathan and Gail get back, a little kissy, a little, oh my God, did I say I like him? Okay, all right, I've had enough. We can... That's it, right? We don't need to do this. Let's get to the next day.
Next day.
It is raining cats and dogs.
It's a metacane. Not a hurricane, a metacane.
Don't even get me started. We started the season on this trailer park yacht with one of the cabins already flooding and leaking. Do we have another one flooding and leaking, or is it the same one?
I think it's a different one. Well, you know what? They did say that was a hose that they'd plugged. It could, in fact, be that same leaky hose.
Well, Sandy says when you take on this much water, it can sink the boat.
I think that was overstated.
Can it?
That was an overstatement.
I mean, you're the captain, but this is quite a large boat.
Yeah. I don't think a bathtub-sized volume of water could sink this motherfucker.
I mean, it's a very poorly built ship if it could.
Yeah.
So we find out the reason for the leak. It was literally just a hose that was spraying water everywhere. An evil hose. Now, Jono, we learn a little bit about him. He used to show jump, which is, obviously. I mean, the man is magical. He's a magical gay man. And I'm going to say it again, MVP of the season.
Well, you know what? Since they declined us on talking to Cheese, maybe my next go-round I'll ask to talk to Jono.
I'd love to talk to Jono. Okay, so the guests arrive. We're going to be doing some sushi things for them, some salmon bellinis and some unagi and whatnot. But first, Sandy's got to have a chat with them. Welcome to your dream vacation. I hear your neighborhood jewelry line with seals and shit is going gangbusters. We're happy to have you. You are not going to be leaving the docks.
Oh.
Now, honestly, I thought they handled it really well. She was just like, "Where's my booze?" And then was like, "It's not your fault, sweetie. It's the gods."
I didn't appreciate the male member of the group that said the nonsensical thing. Well, you don't pay to be on the yacht. You pay to be off it. No, actually, you're paying to be on it.
Yeah, mostly on it. Mostly on it.
Well, that was a very stupid thing to say.
There's one man that looks like a gay scarecrow standing behind her. Did you see that guy?
Yeah. A couple weird looking people.
Yeah, he had like a rainbow polo, like an Elton John polo on, and then his face looked like, I don't know, like something from Attack on Titan. It was...
Age is
that was unnecessary. I didn't need to say that.
That's okay.
I mean, it's ridiculous. So the rolls fly up. The sushi rolls.
I think so. They like the lunch.
The preferences are paid attention to. There is one person that cannot have raw fish. This looks like it will rear its ugly head later. Perhaps we'll have a dead charter guest for the first
Maybe you
time.
could have killed someone. That might be where he gets his walking papers. But first, Dylan, they all head out for that wine tasting in a hurricane. I don't think the wine tasting establishment is open, but I'll call it crazy.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting that the primary at some point yells in the van, I want to go back, turn back, and I'm not joking.
Hi, we just wanted to call and see if you guys were open because I know there's like 3 feet of rain right now, but we just wanted to see if you guys were still, for some reason, like pouring wine for people. And they're like, yeah, we're open. And then you're like, well, why? How? But yes, the drive to the winery is far too perilous, especially knowing that these roads are only going to accumulate more water, and we're going to be driving back in full-blown fucking Jumanji. We end with more leaks and a to be continued card.
Right.
Hey.
Oh, we're not coming back next week. It's to be continued. Thank God.
Yeah. Nothing that really ever happens on Below Deck is worthy of a to be continued card, but definitely not this. You guys have to use these more sparingly. Get in the iTunes ratings and reviews, 5 stars, kind words. We love you guys so much. Follow us on the Instagram, the TikTokies, the YouTubes, the patreon.com/another podcast network. We love you guys. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Pat, say goodbye.
Later it is.